Welcome back to Sexy Death with Dani Lawson. This week's episode will be particularly disturbing. My sister's friend, the serial killer, is all about Mari Travis, a serial killer out of St. Louis, Missouri. So if you're related to any of the victims or might find this offensive, take off now! Or at least grab your teddy bear, because we do intend to offend. Now, I'm going to do my best not to get too hasty. I know it's a real-life horror story, but I do love horror. Now, what artist are we going to play this week? Because I'm already ready for some music. Let's get into that first. The solo project by a self-proclaimed hypocrite. We've got Habitual Darkness. And the track, She Said Over My Dead Body. Hell fuck yeah. Habitual Darkness. Now you can't hate on a solo project. Sometimes you just know what needs to be done and how to do the job right. You know what I mean? Now, I'm going to tell you a crooked ass story. Better yet, my sister is. Of a fucked up piece of shit dude. I know it was her friend. She didn't know he was fucking killing people then, though. But he was a crooked ass little bitch dude who went out and targeted women who were sex workers. And I'm sorry, everyone loves fucking sex. So, no, that's fucking bullshit. If anything, sex workers should be praised. Do you know what the fuck they're doing? They're keeping whole ass people from going into work and going postal on your asses. They're keeping motherfuckers who aren't getting it in a lot of other ways or are too fucking busy. They're keeping them from going to work and shooting everybody up. So, for real, start praising your sex workers. Quit being little bitches. Like, first of all. Second of all, you murdering piece of shit. Let me get my sister on here. She'll tell you the whole fucking story. Here's Amy Buckner, my big sister.
I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story. So, I was friends with Mari Travis, the infamous serial killer from St. Louis, Missouri. Pretty crazy, right?
It is fucking crazy. And the fact that he didn't only murder victims in St. Louis.
Yeah. So anyway, we were friends for about 5 or 6 years. Really good friends. I introduced him to his girlfriend. His girlfriend name was Yvette at the time. And he was in a pretty small circle of friends with us. The FBI actually came and interviewed me about him for 4 days. I had to sign a waiver stating I wouldn't hold them accountable for any mental anguish or any mental issues I might have after that interview.
And of course, they don't actually offer support. They just cover their ass.
I had to look through all kinds of different body parts of different women, tattoos, different tapes they showed. He actually tortured women. He picked up prostitutes across quite a few states. What he would do is lure them to his basement with drugs, money, whatever it was, and then he would torture them to death.
But when you say torture, what exactly do you mean?
Sexually torture them to death. He would do things like make electrical devices and like shock their nipples and their clitoris. And when I mean shock, I mean like burn them off.
Fuck that.
The way these women died was medieval trauma, torture. It was sexual trauma that killed these women. It wasn't them being stabbed or shot or anything like that. It would be like he would take a pole and like shove it up their vagina until it went into their intestines and they would die that way. He would keep them tied up to a pole or stretched out. He had a bunch of different torture devices, I was told, in his basement.
Okay. But how did you even know this guy? I mean, come on. Let alone the basement. How did you fucking know this guy?
I was like 15, 16 years old, and this guy lived around the corner from our high school. And like we would go over there, and he was like the cool guy whose house we got to smoke at and hang out at.
Wait a second. So you're hanging out and smoking with this creepy older dude who lives right by the high school.
It ended up me introducing him into my mom and to other friends. When they finally caught him, I was in shock. Like, I was in complete shock. I know I'm all over the place with this, but it's because I have so many vivid memories and so much. There's so much to talk about with this.
I can imagine. It's fucking traumatic. Well, let's have a metal break. Let's hear more from Habitual Darkness. And she said, over my dead body. And she said, over my dead body. That's exactly what the fucking police were saying each and every time they pulled up on that motherfucker's bodies. Oh, wait. Spoiler alert. Let's get back to it. What's about to happen?
Let me tell you how they caught him. Okay, so we have a newspaper in St. Louis called the Post-Dispatch. Someone was sending maps to the Post-Dispatch, and the police were investigating these maps. And when they would investigate these maps, it was leading them to dead bodies, actual women who had been killed. Now, the Post-Dispatch had probably got 3 or 4 maps sent to them. And when the police investigated and the internet unit investigated, it would always lead them back to these libraries. Different libraries. So they never really got a glimpse of who was sending them. Well, I guess Maury decided that he was just too slick, and he went home and sent a map from his computer to the Post-Dispatch. A map of where they could find another woman's dead body.
Either he wanted to get caught or he just didn't give a fuck anymore.
This time, it led them back to him. He ends up in jail. When he goes to jail, they had him on suicide watch. From what I was told, he was on suicide watch from the moment he got there. He had wrote a suicide letter. He had threatened to kill himself many and many a times. I was going through a traumatic time because I was trying to figure out, like, how this person that was so close to me did these horrible things.
I mean, and you don't get those answers, and no one does. You just look at these people and you think, why the fuck would you do that? And then you don't get the answer. I can't imagine knowing the fucker.
I had no clue about any of this. And when the FBI came and investigated and talked to me and interviewed me, they wanted me to help them understand why he didn't kill me. This man had over, like, I don't know, 200 or 300 and something pictures of me that I was unaware of. We had no idea his entire house was surveillance with cameras. So,
holy shit. That's fucking creepy.
Crazy, right? Yeah, I know, crazy. It was wired with cameras. He had pictures of me changing clothes in the bathroom, getting cups off the counter, all different things. His whole house was wired.
What the fuck, dude? Like, I can't do this. I am gonna fucking kill this guy. Okay. I think it's time for some more metal. Let's get back to fucking Habitual Darkness. And she said, over my dead body.
After that, I was kind of in shock about that because I couldn't figure out why would he have so many pictures of me. And It was really weird. I was thankful I didn't get killed, but I didn't understand. It's just like the cops, like why didn't he kill me? When they found him, he was in county jail. They say he hung himself while on suicide watch. When they found him, his hands were tied behind his back. He was hanging from a vent area in the cell.
Suicide, but his hands were tied behind his back and he was on suicide watch? What? I don't know.
Yeah, that's how they found him. They found him dead. He never got to go to trial. I don't believe they found all the bodies. At the time of when they were interviewing me, there was about 26 or 28 victims that they had proof of, but they thought that there was many more out there. To this day, I really don't think they found them all. I don't know how much more of an investigation they did after all of this and he died. I know that they said he was traumatized as a child for whatever reason, and that every woman he picked out was a drug addict and a prostitute.
And there weren't any signs. There wasn't any like creepy shit in his house or.
I experienced about 6 years with this guy and never once knew anything about it. But you know who asked to go in the basement? Nobody goes over your friend's house and is like, "Yo, man, let me see your basement." So, yeah, I never seen his basement. Never thought about going to his basement. It just wasn't like in my mind. So when they asked me, "Have I ever been to his basement?" No, I never been to his basement. Of course, if I probably went to his basement, I probably wouldn't be here today because everyone that did go to his basement, unfortunately, didn't make it out alive.
Fuck that basement pit stop. I don't blame you. I don't know. I do be hanging out in my friends' basements though.
And they said there was so much DNA evidence from blood all over the ceiling and the floor and the walls that it was actually hard for them to figure out different DNA matches because there was so much layers of DNA. So many women had been down there and killed. And it's weird because I actually started in Jennings. And what was also crazy about this whole situation.
Oh, are you talking about when he tried to get you involved with the murders?
No, I'm getting to that. What was crazy about this whole situation is that one day I was over there and he was like, "Hey, yo," he was like, "Can I get you to follow me to the bus stop?" And I'm all like, "Yeah, sure." He's like, "You drive this car and then you hop in the car with me. We're going to drop that off. My aunt's coming back on a Greyhound." I didn't think anything of it. I drove this car down to the Greyhound bus station, hopped out of it, hopped in the car with him, and then we drove home. I just dropped his aunt's car off at the Greyhound because she was on her way back from Atlanta. Come to find out, when the FBI was interviewing me, my fingerprints that were on the steering wheel of the car they found at the Greyhound station actually belonged to one of the victims. He had actually had me drop off one of the women who he killed car at the Greyhound station.
So you unknowingly aided a murderer.
So the woman was considered missing when they found her car at the Greyhound station abandoned, and I had no idea that that was the car that I dropped off there for. I can't tell you how much of a mind fuck this was for me, because to know that like I was this close to all this stuff going on with him and never experienced it, seen a symbol, seen a clue.
Yeah, but you were a dumbass. You were a teenager. You were fucking up with your friends and you thought you were being sneaky. You were trying to get someone to buy you beer or fucking let you smoke a joint. You were being stupid. But, I mean, his own family didn't know he was a fucking serial killer. I mean,
I never had an inkling. This guy was like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Like he was, you know, a totally different person in front of us. compared to when he was around, I guess, these women that he was kidnapping and killing and raping and torturing. I went through therapy for a long time behind this. Fucked with me a lot because the pictures, the conversation, the videos, the images that I've seen, they'll never go away. That's something I'll never get out of my mind. The fact that he was my friend and never showed that type of behavior to me was also a mind fuck because I never seen that side of him. So to me, when he died, he still died like my friend, and it was
Fucking weird. Fucking weird that you would feel bad for the dude who murdered all those women. But at the same time, pretty fucking human, right? Because he was still a human and had relationships and knew people and just lived outside of being a fucked up piece of shit. He was someone's son. He was your friend. And I do think a lot of times people forget that.
I know it's weird. It's really fucked up. People are like, how can you say that when this guy did this to all these women and tortured and killed them? And I'm just like, bro, like he never exhibited that with me. Like we laughed, we had a good time, we smoked fucking weed, we fucking listened to the radio, like we had dance offs, we did funny shit, we did fun shit. This guy was an older guy that hung out with all teenagers and young people.
Right, which is literally the biggest red flag. You know, when you're an adult and your friend group of choice is fucking minors or shit, I don't even care. Like, you're out there and you're 34, you're 35 years old, and you're trying to hang out with 17, 18, 19-year-old kids. What does that fucking really say about you? I'm not trying to say that these kids aren't mature enough to somehow be able to have friendships with adults. I'm just saying, if that's your friend group of choice, is it because your own peers have fucking rejected you? Or is it because you identify with them? Either way, it's a little fucking off, right? I mean, yeah, I think it's fucking weird. Anyway, a little bit more from Habitual Darkness. And she said, over my right before we jumped off, my sister was really digging into the human aspect of Mari Travis because he was her friend. He wasn't always a serial killer. He was someone's son, he was someone's friend, he was someone's boyfriend. But we were also touching on the very real topic that oftentimes when adults choose to hang out with minors over their own peer groups, it's a huge red flag. Many times they don't have the mental and social capacities to really connect with people their own age, or even those closing in on their age. Other times they just haven't really put the work in. Maybe they just don't foot the bill when they're supposed to. Either way, it's a big fucking red flag.
And he was just like an older guy trapped in an immature state of mind. And he was the perfect friend for us at the time. And it just blows me to this day that, like, none of us died, but probably about 30 other women did underneath us, and we didn't even know. Who knows if we were ever there when a woman was dead in the basement, tied up still, and we just didn't know. We were upstairs smoking and drinking. Like, it runs across my mind all the time. Like, what could I have done or seen or known different? And I honestly, nothing. Because, like I said, when I found out myself, I was so traumatized, and I didn't believe it. I was like, there's no fucking way. They got the wrong guy. They got the wrong guy. There's no way. Like, this guy was my friend. Like, he spent nights at my mom's house. He smoked weed with us.
I don't care what kind of fucking living being you are, whether you're a human, whether you're an alien. I don't give a fuck if you're a dog. Woof woof, daddy. If someone's giving you a treat and you like it, you're just happy. You're like, yeah, awesome. More pizza rolls, please. Another glass of wine. Oh, yeah, I'd love some more cannabis. You're just happy. And if you're with your friends having a good time, oh my God, you're definitely not paying attention to if this dude's a fucking weirdo. I can see that. It makes it a lot harder. But try and be easy on yourself because you have been through a lot and you lost a lot. You lost your friend and also a lot of those memories tied to that friendship.
Like, we used to listen to the radio and ride around, and unfortunately, when he wasn't with us, he was doing horrible, horrible things to other people, and yeah.
Fucking disgusting things. Well, on that note, let's get back to habitual darkness. And she said, over my dead body.
Mara Travis, rest in hell, man. I'm sorry that you turned out to be the guy you were. I'm thankful that I lived through it.
Fuck yeah, dude. Rest in hell, Mari Travis. For real, bro. I hope you're down there. And I hope you're not resting in hell. I hope you're working hard in hell. Because I kind of like hell. But I like the party side of hell, the fun side of hell, the sexy side of hell, oh, the torturous side of hell. But I digress. Yes, yes. Fuck you, Mari Travis. And thank you so much for being on the show, Amy. I'm really happy you were here. I know it could be kind of hard to talk about that shit, and you did a great job.
There's so many more details and memories that I could go through.
And if any of you listeners have any good info, firsthand knowledge on this story, or you just have anything else that's pretty sick you want to spit on us, yeah, you can spit on us. Put it on the website, man. Or throw it on my Facebook page. Either one. Let us know about it.
You know, we could touch base on anything you think of if you want to know anything else.
Hell yeah, man. Thanks for fucking coming on the show again. You heard it from her. Anything else you guys want to know? Fucking ask. And fuck yeah, Habitual Darkness. Thank you for bringing your Gothic Doom vibes to our episode today. Make sure you check out Habitual Darkness. That fucking track once again was, and she said, over my dead body. And it was fucking killing it. And I want to thank them again for being a part of this show. Thank you guys. Buy a fucking band tee. Go see a show and buy a band tee. Don't forget to come check out the website. Thanks, y'all. It was fucking killer this time. I'm dying to see you again.